Welcome back everyone. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make push pads and push sticks for your workshop. I think it's important to keep reinforcing safety, especially on the table saw and the router. Earlier this year I posted a video on push sticks, push pads, and featherboards. Unfortunately I showed you guys how to replicate a certain brand push pad that you might be familiar with, and they didn't like that too much, so I had to take that video down. So I've re-edited the video and put in a new push pad myself, which is just as good as a commercial brand push pad and considerably cheaper. I'm going to talk a little bit about technique when using push sticks and push pads. I'm going to talk about a couple of different varieties. So with that, let's get to it. So here I've got an assortment of different push pads and push sticks. I'll go through them one by one. The only thing that's not a push aid is the Featherboard, but that is used for pressure, and I'll go into that a little bit more in detail. First I'll go over the basic push pads that I built. This one is used probably the most in the shop. Of course you can make these in various widths and sizes. I will provide a link below to the handle template that I used for these. This one I use quite often. This one that I use has a heel on this end of it, and it's got some sandpaper glued to the bottom of it so that it has some traction and it can guide a board through quite easily. You'll notice that I've sort of modeled the end of it so that it's got a bevel to it. I use the bird's mouth push stick as well. You can see how that's got a little bit of damage to it, but it's still in decent shape for working. This was replicated from my rigid bird mouth push stick that came with my table saw. You can see it's been well and truly used and completely mangled on the end, so the bird's mouth is hardly even there anymore. I templated this and just started replicating it. So my recommendation is, if you've got a commercial table saw that you bought and it came with a push stick, make a template so that you can duplicate it later on, because these do get damaged over time. For the big block, I'll show you how I make this using basically a $5 trowel, and I'm able to use the whole trowel basically as a removable handle. This really does a fantastic job of guiding just about any piece. I even use this for thin strips sometimes as well. You'll have some scrap plywood probably lying around your scrap bin about this size, and all you need to do is cut a second block out of plywood, and we're just going to glue it onto the end here. I have a few handle templates, but this one is probably my favorite. This gives me a handle grip that's pretty versatile on different jigs and different push sticks. If you do a Google image search for push sticks, you'll see a ton of templates that are available online that you can just download for free. I did exactly that, and I modified this one a little bit before I cut it, and now I have a good plywood template that I can use. This is a great way to just make use of that scrap material. And then we're just going to take this over to the bandsaw and cut out that handle. Gonna run these through just until they get to the other side, just slightly above the surface. And the way that I mark for this, I was gonna put my handle down over the screws just lightly to line it up And I'm really just gonna eyeball the centering here because I'm not gonna get that precise. And then press down. And then I have my holes. That's all I need. So this featherboard is a pretty basic one that I picked up on Amazon. I am not sponsored by Milescraft. This just happened to be one of the more economic options for featherboards. It does come with instructions, including all the parts. So first I'm going to see how this will mount into my track on the tabletop right here. That one's pretty close already. So the cool thing with this is, I'm assuming this is the bar that'll work for most table saws. The other one is a skinnier one, but I think that actually would work better with my router table track. And so you can use this for both table saws and router tables. Of course, it'll work for both applications. Now I just cut these on the table saw, these strips. The first strips that I did were 1/8 of an inch, and then I did strips at 1/16 of an inch. You can do really fine work with your Featherboard and get consistent results. It's a versatile tool that can be used in multiple operations. I think I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 YouTubers use them in their videos. For 2019, I've kind of rediscovered the Featherboard and I plan on using it a lot more often. Well, that concludes my video on push sticks, push pads, and Featherboards. I hope you found this useful. It's never too late to get safer in your workshop. Of course, I am not the safety channel. I am not a safety authority or expert at all. I'm just a guy who keeps improving the safety in his shop year by year, month by month. At the very least, make yourself a couple of really nice push blocks like this. Doesn't matter what kind of tools you have in the shop. If you have a table saw, this is at very least an essential safety device that you should have accessible at all times. If you've got a two-handed system that keeps both hands well away from the blade, you're gonna do just fine. This video receives no commercial sponsors. I am not going to sell you a commercial push pad. That means you're getting unbiased opinions, and that's important to me, and that should be important to you as well. If you want to donate to this channel, head on over to my donation page right over here. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. There are a couple more videos on this side you can watch. Until next time, thanks for watching, and have a great day.